It's DJ. Hope all is well. Alright, so today we have a class on dun dun dun. Well, I heard about this a while ago. That during the pandemic, the US government basically basically admitted that UFOs exist and might come from beyond the Earth. So, not to scare anybody, but unidentified flying objects. I'm going to say that they do exist. So, they say, will that encourage conspiracy theories? Well, if they're right, I mean, I don't know what the encouragement is. They're saying, yeah, there's stuff that exists out there. Alright, well, let's see. So this was in 2021. Like I said, I haven't looked into it. It was like in June 2021, so almost coming up on a year ago. But on June 25th, the Department of Defense released an official report on UFOs. The report does not tell us much of anything, except that these objects remain unidentified. Nevertheless, for the department to officially acknowledge that we cannot explain what these objects are or how they move breaks a long-running taboo on taking UFOs seriously. Now, I mean, there's life on other planets. That much we know. I mean, there's got to be. Just because there can't be the only Earth can't be the only planet that has water and that things can live on. So, that does exist. But UFOs, that's a whole other thing. That there are beings out there that not only have the capability of flying, but also have the capability of going from different galaxies. So, the full document includes a classified section for lawmakers. Until now, the department had previously released footage taken by military pilots of several of the sightings, which former Senator Harry M. Reid, a Democrat in Nevada, said in April only scratches the surface of research and materials available. Reid's comments lent legitimacy to a persistent American conspiracy theory that the federal government is concealing evidence of extraterrestrial activity on Earth. Conspiracy thinking and misinformation are thought to be increasing, especially since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. A lot of people think it's just a distraction from the coronavirus, but what kind of distraction? What encourages Americans to dive into conspiracy theory? And that's just a question. So what encourages us to dive into conspiracy theory? Obviously, many factors are involved, but new official openness about UFOs' existence and the possibility that they might be extraterrestrial visitors encourages people to see conspiracy theorists more favorable. The person who wrote this, it says their research finds. What evidence emerges that's consistent with a conspiracy theory? So, respected public figures have been acknowledging that pilots and others have spotted flying objects that they can't identify, which is the literal definition of a UFO. Speaking about these objects with James Corden on the Late Late Show, former President Barack Obama said there is footage and records of objects in the sky, so we don't know exactly what they are. Other politicians, not just Democrats, it says, have wanted to investigate these objects. In 2020, even then President Donald Trump signed a law that required the Pentagon to produce an unclassified report for Congress revealing what the government knows about UFOs. Well, none of this confirms the conspiracy theory that the government has been hiding evidence that extraterrestrial life has visited Earth. So that people have flown, or extraterrestrials have flown here and visited. It does acknowledge that the government has investigated unidentified flying objects, which at least some Americans interpret as evidence of alien visitations. I mean, it's a possibility. How did this revelation of government information affect Americans' opinions of those who hold other fringe beliefs? And fringe beliefs are just, beliefs like there are zombies, vampires, werewolves, things like that. Right. Ghosts. Well, okay, sorry, I shouldn't roll my eyes. Some people really believe that stuff. Okay, so official legitimization causes people to feel more positive toward people who believe in conspiracy theories. On June 1st, the Washington Post published an article headlined Close Encounters. Democrats and Republicans unified in taking UFOs seriously. The story mentioned well-known Democratic and Republican politicians and a former CIA director acknowledging that UFOs might indeed be extraterrestrial visitors. And the next day, the person writing this article recruited over 1,500 Americans to take a survey. Oh, that would be a fun survey. In which I embedded an experiment. Respondents were recruited through Lucid, an online panel provider that compensates individuals who agreed to complete such surveys. 1/3 were randomly assigned to read an excerpt from the Post article that mentioned bipartisan interest in UFOs. The other 2/3 received no information, and everyone answered questions about their feelings toward people who believe in conspiracy theories. So, the majority of the people who took this had no idea that politicians had been kind of pushing this. So in one question, respondents were asked how they felt about conspiracy theorists, rating that on what social scientists call a feeling thermometer from 0, very negative, to 100, very positive. On average, those who read the article reported about 6% more positive feelings towards people who believe in conspiracy theories than those who did not read, increasing from roughly 42 to 48 out of the 100. Or does it mean percent? To put that effect in context, the Post story causes people to feel about as positive towards those who believe in conspiracy theories as a Democrat leads to negative feelings towards that group. Compared to independents, Democrats report 8 points more negative feelings toward people who believe in conspiracy, an effect similar to in the size to the 6-point difference caused by reading the article. Okay, so the next day, after 98% of the people who taken the survey took it, the New York Times revealed the report's findings, which had been leaked. So they try to keep it under wraps, but no, take that. New York Times broke it and took it. The following morning, I recontacted everyone who had already taken the previous survey and showed them that morning's Washington Post article titled, "Report Does Not Confirm or Rule Out UFOs in Unexplained Aerial Events." So the results were consistent with those from that first survey. Of the 304 people who responded and had not read about UFOs during the first found, the median feeling thermometer rating conspiracy theorists increased. Okay, this is just boring. So it did increase with those who read the article. It increased a bit each time. But that's just about people who believe in conspiracies. So, new public discussion of long taboo issues may increase openness to conspiracy thinking. So, there have definitely been things that people can't explain that fly around in the skies. So, scientific investigations must be open to all possibilities. In a healthy democracy, political leaders are willing to be open about discussing and investigating available evidence. However, this new willingness to assess possibilities that had been dismissed as fringe ideas may have a cost? Well, what could that cost be? Well, people change their mind all the time. Previous work finds that people avoid expressing support for conspiracies for fear of social consequences. So, basically, people calling them names, saying that you don't know what you're talking about, you sound like a crazy person, things like that, which is a name. My findings suggest that when politicians bring a formerly taboo possibility into open discussion, they may increase favorable attitudes toward conspiracy thinkings on other issues. So just bringing it up and people saying, like, yeah, I mean, with all the evidence we have, people feel less afraid to say, I've been thinking that for a while. To prevent this later effects, politicians may wish to avoid presenting uncertain facts as settled issues when the evidence needed to support that judgment just isn't there. So, it is one of those things where it's like, hey, like people are afraid to say, I've seen something, or this has happened, or that, and I believe this for a long time, but, a lot of people who believe certain things, their belief system gets in the way because it says, well, you can't believe in aliens, that they don't exist. But the more we kind of gather this evidence and things like that, we can start to say, without 100% certainty, that if you look up at the night sky, you do see things, and you can see things, and people have. And so what does that really mean? But anyway, this has been our report on aliens. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, please, if you know anything more, or have, please post it to WhatsApp or post it to each of us so that we can maybe take a look and make our own very well educated opinion about this whole thing. All right. What is the thing? Long live the aliens. I don't know. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye.